This is Ashley and Catie on Peeling Back the Truth, episode 20. Wow, here we are,
20.
Catie.
That's like a big deal, kind of.
20 for 2024. Here we are.
20, but like 20 episodes. Yay.
I'm happy about that.
And we
keep rolling.
Yeah, we're moving. We did make a New Year's resolution. So,
let's talk about that for a minute, Catie. I think it's important for our viewers and listeners to know that we do this because we love this. And I vouched myself for 2024 to do things that fill my cup up more and make me happy. And this is one of them.
this is definitely one of them for me. And it's so funny because a lot of people like in the industry say to me and you, "Oh, I heard your podcast. I love it." And they really like it. Right. And that feels so good when someone like, because we know that the information we put out is valuable and that's why we are here. But I was talking to these two young girls yesterday, my friend's nieces, and they, was it yesterday? Oh, and I don't know. But anyway, long story short, they're in their early 20s and they were asking me about peeling back the truth. And they were like, and I said, "Oh, I know we don't have a lot of followers, right? Like, I mean, we have like 300, but I said, that's not our mission at all. It's not to be social media popular or to be, it's for, educating our industry. So we tell people we train and teach about our podcast, and anyone who we've told has, really said it was valuable to them and they got a lot of good information from it. So, it isn't our objective is not to be popular, but yes, we do like getting it out there because then more people see it and we're giving good information.
Right.
So
I think a highlight for me in the last couple weeks, obviously, as a lot of you know, Catie and I got to go to Paris, which was amazing. Catie, I know you've been before. Obviously, it was my first time. It was such an extraordinary adventure to be with you. But I think the cool thing was one of the biggest things there that I loved is, a couple people from the UK came over and they're like, "We listen to your guys' podcast. We love it." And, we talked to some others around the world that did. And I'm like, oh my gosh, these people like listen to us. Like, this is crazy.
know. And it's
or they know who we are. Like people coming up to the booth from all over the world. They're like, "We know you guys, Ashley and Catie." And I'm like, this is so surreal, like to take that in. And like, I didn't really start to think about that until I got back from the trip. I'm like, oh my gosh, people know who we are.
I know. And I love it because I know that like, especially a new practice, if they listen to the podcast, they're going to get some really good, valuable information that, they might not have got if they didn't tune in. So we're definitely, doing a
trying to make strides in the right direction to help others.
Yes, to help others. That's really why, it's why we're here. That's
also, Catie, I'm just saying in case anybody's watching us, nobody look at my drink because it's not like a non-branded drink, but I need a sip of coffee. So give me a minute.
Oh yeah, we don't want to, I don't know where it's from.
Sorry.
Before we start talking about aesthetics, let's just touch on our trip to Paris, as far as the Arrowlace adventure part. But can I just really quick tell one funny story and then I'll make it.
We got a lot of them.
So I'm not going to get into this too deep, but the day we got there, Ashley and I had a little bit of free time. So we decided to make the most of it and, see the obvious things in Paris, the Eiffel Tower, so forth and so on.
Shopping.
What we didn't realize was until later that evening how comical our day was. Because in it, we just were like trying to go here, go there, follow this app, that. But when we look back on it, it was very, very funny. We got kicked out of a cab. Why? I don't know. And then got allowed back in the cab. We walked about 5 miles somehow when that was not in any way, shape, or form.
We walked way more than that, Catie. I looked. Yeah. We walked like 8 miles.
Yeah, we did not plan on that, but we did.
Catie almost got hit by bikers.
Oh, I was walking in the biker lane.
Three times.
Yeah, and it took me 3 bikes almost to run me over before I was like, "Oh, Ashley, this is the bike lane." Okay.
Yeah.
Then we tried to get on the subway And honestly, I wish I had a GoPro on because
The subway.
you have to imagine people going on the subway. They're just going in one after another. Beep, enter, enter. And obviously they had like a Metro pass or something that, well, Ashlee and I just wanted a one-way trip. That's it. So it took us a good 15 minutes to figure out how to get the ticket. We get the ticket. It took us at least 15 minutes to figure out how to put the ticket into the actual roundabout thing.
But before that happened, just for everybody listening, obviously everybody knows Catie and I talk with our hands. We're kind of loud. We talk. We're, excited. We're like in Paris. I think the funniest part for me was the guy did not want to get out and help us.
Did not want to help us at all.
Catie. And part of me hopes people watch this right now because they'd understand it so much more. Katie's going with her hands in the air, going
like,
crazy,
could you help
and the
us?
guy starts mimicking Catie because obviously they're French. They're very calm. They're not as passionate with their words and their hands.
He said, calm down. I was like, calm down. I'm not even doing anything.
But that poor gentleman that jumped. Okay, so then people were, and whatever people want to say, like when we went over to Europe, obviously people were like, yep, the French, they're not very nice. I disagree with that because they were pretty nice to us.
Very nice.
The one, like, very
so
nice. I totally joke because I think obviously that some people probably thought I was Russian. They were very nice to us because I was all Russian. But that one guy, he jumped back from going
to help us.
The subway to help us. And then we're like looking at him like, we can't figure this out. And then he's like, I don't even know what to do with free ladies anymore, and jumps back. But he at least tried to help us. Catie and I are alive. We are here. We are well. Catie, that was the funnest day.
It was so fun.
Like, we were just laughing so hard, like peeing our pants. Oh, and speaking of peeing our pants.
Wait. Well, just one more part about the subway. So we're putting it in where it's supposed to come out for like a good 10 minutes. We didn't notice the part where you put it in.
People were doing it too fast. They were too fast for us.
It was really hysterical. And we're just like, it was just hysterical. And then we had to pay to go to the bathroom. That was confusing. And I got that in the bathroom.
To flush your toilet. And she didn't know where to flush
my toilet because I couldn't find the flusher.
I did look at my credit card statement. $1.63 was taken out to use the restroom. Apparently, though, that's very normal over there. And for all of you that are listening that live in Europe, you can laugh all you want at Catie and I right now because it was very comical. And we were probably those idiots that people were like pointing at, saying like those dumb Americans.
Yeah,
because
we definitely fit that.
But we were laughing at ourselves too. You know what I miss? I really miss the sirens, the police sirens there.
I love it. It's like an old movie. Like, I love it. You feel like you're in a movie because that noise is so different than the sirens that we hear.
Yeah.
And it was just, Paris it's just very cool. I felt like Sex in the City-ish.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I loved our courtyard that we stayed at. We had amazing meals with a lot of coworkers. The
hotel was beautiful.
It was beautiful.
But let's talk about the show and Ashlee's amazing, top of the line, state of the art booth.
So it's funny, Catie, when you say that, because before this all came about, and for everybody that's listening, like this is the first time Ashlee's did something like this at a show, and I think it's really important to talk about. Like before I went to Paris, when I would tell everybody, yeah, I'm going to go to Paris with Ashlee's, and I'm so honored, and I'm so excited to be with Catie, her and I together, I would sit there, and I would tell them, like, so basically, we're making a glass booth that's laser safe for your eyes, and we're going to be treating in it. Yes. And then I started talking like that, and then I was like, so basically, we're hamsters in a cage all day, where everybody can watch everything we do, and when I say everything, they watch everything we do all day. So, I thought we had to be on our best behavior, but when Catie and I got in that booth and in our element, like everybody was watching, it was so amazing. Like
the best.
It was the coolest. And obviously, if you go on to Instagram, Peeling Back the Truth, my other Skin Boss Ashlee Instagram, Catie, you can share it too. I made a video of us in Paris, which was so fun.
Can you see that?
I see it. It looks so pretty.
How about me getting that on the screen? That in itself is a miracle.
Pretty impressive that you just did that. Good job.
So this was our booth, yes, that we're talking about. And I mean, it was
Now
just,
the question is, people that are watching right now, can they see this?
yes, I shared my screen.
Oh, look at you, fancy.
So if you're watching it on, say, YouTube or whatever, you can see it. If you can, if you're not, if you're just listening, no, obviously. But anyway, it had this amazing laser proof like glass so people could watch, and
Protecting.
it was like our own little
Oasis.
cabin. Me and you were in there, and we made so many wonderful connections with people all over the world. And the buzz about our lace, like internationally, is so exciting. And like, we don't realize that when we're here, but when you go there and you like hear everybody from countries, everywhere saying our lace, and they love us. It's so great. And, I think a lot of the contribution to that is, one, our device is amazing for, everything, but the fact that we can treat all skin types helps so much, making us worldwide, because, every country is different and ethnicities are different. So, it just makes us so versatile in that spectrum.
And speaking of all over, we are new to India now. We got to spend a lot of time with Madhu, which is one of the
Rep.
distributors for.
He's actually a rep for our lace that in India.
Yeah, and he was lovely to chat with, and
so lovely. And wasn't it fun watching him? Like the first day, you could see he was kind of taking it all in, and then
he just was so comfortable.
He was like, talking to everyone, and he felt so much more comfortable with like the technology, and just from listening to you and I in the booth and us talking. So that was really cool, watching him just like evolve into this, savvy
expert. It was great. And
yeah.
Real quick, shout out to Safe, Nicholas, John, obviously Pavel and Olga, our Anael. Big thanks to Trisha. Like, I felt like our team was so rock solid there. It was so fantastic, and
it was like made my heart happy.
It was awesome.
I feel like, you can have coworkers and, that's great, but like our team we really are very close and like a family. Like we have each other's back. Like we're not, it's not cutthroat. Like sometimes it can be like that in this industry.
Yeah.
And
we all have each other.
We are all Sean.
I forgot Sean too, by the way. Sorry, Sean, my little brother. I just forgot Sean. Sorry.
My little brother.
I'm never going to live that one down. For everybody that's listening, Sean is older than me, and everybody thinks he's my little brother, and I'm upset by that.
But, Sean, he does these things, and it's just like, you think we just appear here at this show. Well, that's not the case. It is a lot of work and
back-end work, yeah.
Scheduling and planning, and Trisha and Sean did such an amazing job with all that. And like Trisha is just the one night I was like, how are you even standing up? Because, this is, and in the meantime, she volunteered to be a model for a treatment. So she's getting a reverse treatment, and her face is, has had a little bit of downtime. She's starting to peel while she's working through all this. She was like so amazing.
And then like the next night at the dinner party that we hosted at Benoit's house, she's molting like a snake, and we just,
but she looked amazingly beautiful.
She did. We put some of our favorite, color science on there, which, by the way, everybody, we will not take time right now to talk about color science, but we have a great lineup this year of a lot of people we're going to have on, and we are going to have Catie from Color Science come on as well soon. So we'll talk about all of that good stuff later. Yeah.
But just the show was just an amazing success. It really was. And I am so impressed with our team. I'm so impressed with the way that our devices are, and everybody who got a treatment, like everybody was so happy and just like, this is amazing. And like, I treated one melasma patient, and you know how sometimes when you treat melasma, it literally vanishes?
Yep.
Well, that was the case, and they were just blown away. Like,
I love to see them the next day too. The next day they're like, oh my gosh, my pores are so tight. My skin looks so great, blah, 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 blah. We always set ourselves up for nothing but positivity, and we say like it's not a one and done, but you'll see a little bit of this and you'll see a little bit of that. And people were coming up to the booth the next day, the day after, oh my gosh, my skin looks amazing. This, and
I mean,
this.
I treated someone for rosacea, and literally they came to the booth the next day. They looked like their face was not even a little pink. They
No
looked
red.
amazing. And that was just from the one treatment. Now, I'm not saying we cured the rosacea. Rosacea is a condition, and most likely that person will need, some more treatments. But just in one treatment to have that clearance is just phenomenal.
I think one of my favorite things was, and I loved so many different memories, but this one person, you know how when we always say, Katie, like one person can say something that will touch your heart and like makes you have just such a fantastic day. There, and I hope she is listening to Tatiana in Dubai. She's a physician in Dubai, and she sat there and she had so many questions, and I spent lots of time with her, and I did treatment on her. And she said to me, Ashlee, what are your credentials? You're not a physician, because people don't know our credentials over there. There's such a mixed bag of everybody's credentials. And I
Mm-hmm.
said, no, I'm not a physician. Like I'm a lead laser clinician at Skin Boss Med Spa. I said, I train also and educate with Airlays. And she said to me, I am so blown away at all the knowledge that you have and I told her my training background working underneath a derm for 5 years. And she
Mm-hmm.
said, I would much rather listen to you as a clinician than some physicians that I do know, because you really do know your stuff and you take it seriously. And that like made my heart melt, Katie, because you and I have said this all along. We know we're not physicians. We're never going to be physicians. We always say we think this might be the case, but we're not clinically diagnosing because we're not physicians and we're not nurse practitioners, but we really do know a little bit about what we're talking about. And it was just such an honor to have her say that, because she just was so respectful. And she's like, I'm being very honest. I am buying this laser because you're talking to me about it. And you're telling me so many great things and things that make sense and laser physics. And it made my heart melt. And
People
Trisha sat there and watched me
appreciate
glow. Trisha sat there and listened to her and just watched me like light up. I was like, oh my gosh, I want to hug you.
And people like appreciate that information. And like for you and I know for myself, um, it's, I can say anything about myself. Okay. But the one thing I can say about myself 100% is I know lasers and I know Airlace. And I feel like people will say, if you're talking or giving a speech or training, do you get nervous? And the truth is, I don't get nervous, because I'm so confident in the information I have that I don't feel nervous, because I know that I'm going to help somebody to get more, savvy or trained or whatever. And that is what is going to lead them to their success. And that's a really good feeling. And yes, it's our job, but it is definitely a great feeling when you can take someone who's new and make them in a place where they understand and they feel like they get it, just because you gave it to them in a way that they could comprehend it.
I love that. I love it. And I do get nervous once in a while. It doesn't matter if it's one person, 100 people,
Well, standing
thousands.
in
It
front
doesn't
of
matter. But then
people,
I'm like, I'm
yeah,
not nervous about what the delivery of the education. I'm more so nervous about the people. And then I'm like, oh, we're fine.
yeah.
But when you and I are together, I'm always like, we are great. It's fine.
I mean, it's just a great. I like. I just I love training, educating. Like, it fills my soul.
Yeah,
And
I love
it's like,
education.
it's not really like work. Like, that's the thing. I think I posted on our podcast page. If you find something you love to do, you'll never work a day in your life. And in
We're
our,
fortunate that way.
yeah, I do. I don't feel like when I am working that I'm working, because it jazzes me up. It gets me so excited.
Yeah. It was, I mean, we could go on and on about
Because,
our experience with Paris and
but just listen, Airlace is on the scene everywhere. So if you are new to this, if you're not new to this, whatever it is, just look out, because Airlace is
big
coming
things this year
in, yep, fast.
everywhere.
And the best part I think about us representing Airlace and being part of Airlace is that our device is truly phenomenal
One of a
and
kind.
one of a
Our
kind.
devices. Yeah.
It truly is. And it is only device of its kind that's out there. And if you are looking to purchase a laser device, it's almost like you would be crazy not to.
Yep.
You really would.
Both
Because
devices are
it
just
can open up so much for you in your practice. And you can use it in so many ways, from medical to cosmetic. It just, the list never ends of how many ways you can use it to make your practice successful.
And with that being said, I came back from the trip, Catie, and like went into Skin Boss, and I was like, I was so fired up. I'm like, okay, we're gonna do this and this year, and let's do this campaign, and and my executive director, and she also does our marketing. She's like, I love it. I'm so excited for all this. Like, I just loved sharing everything we experienced. But then this is the thing, and I do want to say this. We've had these lasers, the Era Elite and the Neo Elite, since day one at Skin Boss Med Spa. I'm constantly finding new innovative ways to do different things with them.
All the
And
time.
we're on year 4. We are literally on starting year 4 here. And I'm just like, this is insane that I'm still finding different caveats and different ways to do
Little
different
things that you're like, oh,
yes.
yeah.
And so like it just got me like really, got me really excited. And that's one thing I do want to say is like when we go to these shows, in the moment, yes, we are exhausted. I give so much credit to everybody that goes to these shows and does all these things and presents and talks and performs. It's a lot of work. But at the end of the day, you feel so satisfied because
So
it's so flipping exciting and people are there for knowledge and we yearn for that and we love to share our knowledge. So
love it. And I
it
mean,
was awesome.
honestly, I always tell this story, but from the day Aralace came into my life, and this is 11 years ago now, and Aralace was not really on the scene then. But from the day I got my hands on this device, and I was currently working in a med spa, I got my med spa to purchase it. Really, truly, I had no need for any other modality because we had Neo and Era. And it was just, that's it. That's what I do. Like, that's what I use because it's what works and it's where I find my success.
It's funny. Somebody texted me this morning and they're like, so do you have any new lasers coming into Skin Boss? Like, do you think you're going to have any new lasers coming in this year? And I'm like, no, we don't have a need for
What
any
do
new
we need
laser.
it for? We don't
We
need it.
don't have a need. Like people, and I
I
look at my
always
skin.
think, you know what that is from, Ashlee? People are looking for instant gratification and a one and done. And you and I know, and if we've said it once, we've said it 5 million times, it does not exist.
The condition or the damage to your skin did not happen overnight. We are not going to change it overnight.
And
It
anyone
takes
who
time,
tells you
patience,
that
and
they
work.
can, they're not telling you a truthful statement.
And what we like to call that is the Band-Aid effect.
Yep.
It's a Band-Aid to help heal what's right there in front of you. But then when you take that off, if it's not taken care of properly, things are going to come back. We
Yeah.
want to do more than a Band-Aid effect. We want to get to the root cause of things and to really treat all the layers and the chromophores in between. And that's what you can do with Aerolase, Neoli, and Era.
And it's like there's things that yes, you can do that will make your skin look good for the moment or the day. Like you say you have an event or whatever. Yes, there are things like you could put a mask on, you could do a hydrofacial. There are things you can do. But if you put it with Neo and do a skin rejuvenation with those things, it takes it to another level. And you're working on your skin health truly. You're not just putting a Band-Aid on it. You're working towards the health of your skin. And like we talked about in the last episode, we brought the biome up.
Yep.
And we know it's like a big thing right now. But that's when you use Neo for skin rejuvenation, we're working towards that.
Absolutely. And something that we incorporated in the Skin Boss Med Spa probably like the last 5-ish months, we decided that we are going to do like a discounted, and I hate using the word discount. We decided we are giving our patients a little bit of a nice gift if they book a Neo and a facial same day and doing the Neo first, because it's like literally the
Game
most
changer.
amazing treatment you could do in one sitting, and you don't have any downtime from it. You get the Neo that's treating
But
every
you're
single thing.
working on long-term health of your skin.
Exactly.
So
And
facials are great, but they're not going to.
that dermal level, they're
No.
getting to that epidermal dermal junction, but you're not getting that deep. And that's when we kind of brainstormed in marketing, and like my executive director, and I'm like, let's do a Neo first for these patients. And we did like an introductory that month to see how it went. And it went so skyrocketing to do the Neo before the facial that we are incorporating it all the time now.
With everything,
Giving
add
them
it
a
in
little,
front of everything.
and the way that we do it is like, $50 off your Neo if you're booking a facial same day. And everybody's like, absolutely. I'm ready. I'm going to do that. So therefore we have a lot of revenue within the facial division. We have a lot of revenue within the laser division, and everybody's super happy because they just got not just a facial, they got dermal remodeling underneath and collagen stimulation
With
and all
no
of those good things.
discomfort or downtime.
And not to bring back to Paris, but this was so exciting to me to see in the booth, Catie. And I know you spent a couple of the days like up in intense meeting rooms and things with some physicians. But when I was down there, I was so happily shocked at how many men took advantage of coming in and getting treated with Neo.
I think I treated more men than women.
And these guys were like, and I love that because, sorry guys, you're babies. That's why we have the babies. But guys are babies when it comes to these things. And these guys are like, it feels good. Like, it feels great.
Yeah, like
it feels
warm.
fine.
Everybody says
Warm.
a lot of times like raindrops, warm
Warm
rain.
raindrops. Or I'm doing something naughty and laying out at the beach with protective sunscreen on.
Yeah.
Because it feels like nice warm. And by the way, side note, we had the best weather ever in Paris this year.
We really
Oh
got
my
so
gosh.
lucky.
The sun came out. I keep going back to that, but I'm just, I'm putting it all together here. I'm just thinking of all these little things in Paris. But yeah, and I think I'm really happy that men are really realizing, like, let's take care of my skin.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to hurt to work.
It doesn't have to hurt. I don't have to have downtime.
Right. I keep covering my cup. Am I doing a good job?
You're doing a good job. But, just at the end of the day, again, how many times can we talk? We know that the Neo and Era, they're amazing. And just being internationally known like that and seeing the excitement, it was just a really amazing.
It was once in a lifetime
experience.
And I hope that we have even more next year if we get to go back.
And it just gets better and better.
Yes.
Right?
So yeah,
I have a little tricky little thing I want to kind of talk about real quick, and
I'm ready.
We can just kind of chit chat a little, because I think it's kind of important. I'm starting to get very frustrated with social media. Now, I understand it serves a great purpose. I do. And I know that it is a great way to market yourself and to get information out there. I get it. But if you remember back in our earlier podcasts, Ashlee, we talked a lot about doing your education. Like if you're going to go see an esthetician, a laser technician, a doctor, and get a laser treatment, you have to educate yourself and not assume just because you walk in a doctor's office or a med spa that no matter what, you're going to get a really great treatment.
You have to do your homework just as much as we do.
Yes.
Yes.
So is there good information on social media? Absolutely. But is there bad information?
100%.
Absolutely. So, and you have to find a way to filter it.
So and anybody out here that's done this, please don't be offended by this because we all are stuck in this moment, right? There's been times when I've been at the med spa at Skin Boss, and I'm like, okay, I want to do a social media post. And like, to all of you out there that can dance and have fun, I think that's great. I personally, like Catie knows, I like to dance and have fun, but not on social media. But things sometimes you get so excited about when you're on social media that you forget about a couple things. One, the integrity of what you're doing, the integrity of your brand. Two, safety. I have seen so many people recently on social media that, in the moment it's funny and it's cute and they're treating their face or they're doing this with no eye shields on or anything. I'm like, that doesn't help a lot of people because let's say that I am a new practitioner and I'm like, well, Ashlee and Catie are doing this without goggles on. I think I can too. no, don't do
No,
that because
it's,
it could be, or without
lasers
using,
are,
gloves or anything like that. Like, I just think we have to be very mindful before we get on the camera on social media. And
and
like,
I know for myself, if I am putting something on social media that is going to be posted, or if I'm filming something that may go on social media, like I have a checklist,
hmm hmm
where do I have gloves on? Are my goggles on? Is the patient goggles on properly?
is this authentic? Is this
is this
factual?
authentic? Yeah, because at the end of the day, you are a role model to
That's
a
your
lot of
brand.
people. Yes. And
That's your
if
brand.
they see someone like, you or I doing something and they assume, well, then if she's doing it,
We
it's right.
can. It's fine.
And it's true. So like I am very conscious about anything I ever post and I, check off all the checklists, make sure that I'm doing things properly.
And again, what we're saying here right now, Catie, am I at fault for ever doing these things? Yes, I've done
Yes.
these things. I don't
And I
want anybody
still
that's
have
listening to us to be like, oh my gosh, why are they dogging this and this? It's not that. It's just, I'm hoping when people are listening to us, Catie, this touches them. They're like, you know what? That's good. Catie has this checklist. And
it
Ashlee
worked.
thinks and
Because you
is
know
more
how I figured
mindful
it out? Because I've been called out on social media for not doing
doing
certain,
a couple
like
things, right?
maybe not having gloves on or maybe not. And people, it's the first thing they want to comment underneath is like, well, you shouldn't be doing this, this, or this. And they're right. They're right. So like I, said to them after that happened, I was like, okay, now I am really going
Not
to
doing that again.
make sure anything that I ever post is absolutely, and not that I ever practice improperly, but like if I say I'm treating you and we're like in the clinic room, just
Any
me and you.
clinician knows this listening to us right now. Yes, we do
Yeah,
things that
like
are not
maybe I didn't put my glove, but that's because I'm treating you. I just scrub my hands. But people on social media don't know that.
right.
So that's why it's so important that even though it might not be wrong and it's for a post, remember that we are all role models and young children. So I have a 16-year-old daughter. You have a 17-year-old daughter.
Mhm.
She is very influenced by social media. She really believes if it's on there, it's real, it's good, and it's where it's at. Right? So there was just this big thing in the news about parents taking their kids into Ulta, Sephora, so shouldn't mention names, but anyway, to cosmetic selling stores
Yep.
and asking for products that were not appropriate for their child. Like a 16-year-old should not
Shouldn't
be
be on
using
snail mucin.
or retinol.
The red balls. The hydroquinone. Yeah, it's and this is what I will say with that. And I think in the moment when I did this, it was so hard. But Isabella, my daughter, like you said, is 17, and last year I took all social media outlets away from her for 9 months. She absolutely despised me for it in the beginning. And at the end of the 9 months, she thanked me for it because I think that these young girls and boys,
They
they
live
get
and die by it.
so wrapped up into what's going on to the point where, like, my daughter would know that some things are wrong, but argue with me that like they're right because she saw it on social media. And I feel bad for this generation because they really gravitate towards, well, they did it on IG or they did it on this and this, and I watched TikTok, or I don't know if we're supposed to say that outlets or whatever it is, but on social media they did this, so it must be okay. And it's like, no, it's not okay. And like Isabella, my daughter, she realized like, you're right, mom, which she's really good about just kind of listening to me with a lot of her skincare, which I'm very thankful for. But like her girlfriends are always like, oh my God, Miss Ashlee, this and this and this. I'm like, no, girls, you don't need that. Your one was 15 retinol. I'm like, no, 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 no. One of my other friend's daughter, she's 13 years old. She asked for a mini refrigerator for her bedroom to keep her sheet masks in and all of her skincare products at this chilled degree because she saw on social media that the viability of it can't be at room temperature, that everything should be kept in the refrigerator. And I'm like, they are making monsters out of these children.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that it's a slippery slope. It's a fine line. I think any parent out there listening to this, and if you have a young boy or girl into this right now, like keep an eye out of, no, they don't need a $75 product right now at the age of 12 to turn over their cells. And
Right.
best thing you can do for your kids, get really good medical grade SPF,
And
and they will,
a gentle wash, and a nice moisturizer.
that's it.
I happen
And
to like the Aven Tolerance line for teens. I think it's a good, safe line for them to use because it's gentle but effective.
yep. And then Glytone has some other good acids, active acids for the acne or whatever. But the thing is, it doesn't have to be hundreds of dollars either. And yes, I mean, I will not stress this. I mean, obviously there's some kids that don't want to do anything. There's some kids that want to do 12 steps. But if there was one single thing like SPF, talk to them about protecting their skin. And that brings me to this, Catie. Like, we saw so many people in Paris around the world in just such beautiful skin. And I think it's important to talk about the proven facts of darker ethnic backgrounds aging more gracefully
Because
than people that are
they haven't had a trauma of a sunburn,
like lighter
or
complected
lighter
skin.
skin have, and the damage that the sun, does is substantial. It is such a huge part of the aging, our skin age. And like, we know that when we use the Vizio, or I forget the device you guys have in your practice.
We have Vizia.
Oh, you do?
Well, right now we do.
Oh, okay. So like, that shows you the truth underneath.
Mm-hmm.
So the sun is just like, if you are going to do anything in the morning, put your sunscreen on. Like,
And speaking of which,
it's that
how
important.
darker ethnic backgrounds that have not had the trauma on their skin and they look amazing with age. Can we just talk about how amazing Usher looked at the Super
And
Bowl?
he's 45.
And he looks like he's 20
He looks amazing.
and still can
I'm
move like
sure he has
he's
a good
20.
skincare regimen.
I'm sure he does too. But my point is that's why I think it's so important for people that have lighter skin tones. Use your sunscreen. Use your sunscreen.
In the middle of the winter, if it's freezing cold where you live, if the sun
Outside.
is out,
Use
it
your
doesn't matter. Even when
at the
the
window.
sun
Use
is
your
not
sunscreen.
out.
Right. Blue light, just like you and I on the computer all day. Like, we need to realize that. And that brings me back to, I will say it, our clinic has Isden. I love Isden skincare. We are just #1 in the state of Michigan, which I feel is amazing. So at Skin Boss, we are #1, which is awesome. But seeing Isden's display at Paris was amazing, but I cannot believe how different FDA regulations are on our ingredient levels in the US versus other places.
That is
And
amazing, isn't it?
it's so crazy different to me. Like, I'm talking to these beautiful women at the booth and I'm like, "Oh my gosh, we use Isden." And I'm saying the names of these products. She's like, "Oh yeah, we don't carry that here." And I'm like, "What? That's my
Because
favorite
it
sunscreen."
doesn't
And they're like,
pass.
"Well, we have this sunscreen that's like that, but we have the extra this and this and this." And it feels like silk. And I'm like, "Oh my gosh, this is amazing." But but then you look at other people around the world other than the US and their skincare regimens, and it's amazing, like everything in the products. And
Because they
so,
limit what can be put in products. And we were talking, you and I, a little bit about these like apps that
mhm.
tell you if something is good or not, correct?
Oh,
Now the kids are falling for that too. So everything they want to run through this app. Well, guess what? The app is not as legitimate as you think.
and this goes for all apps, food apps, cosmetic apps. I mean, the best workout for you app, all of these things. Our lead injector right now has a specific app. I hope she's listening. Hi, Mimi. That she loves for food, and this guy, I like this guy's app, but there's some things that like I disagree with on the app, and that's the thing. People are getting really populated with all these apps for skincare, for exercise, for food. You have to do your research. I mean,
You
Catie, you and
have
I
to.
preach all the
You
time.
can't just go
Education,
on
education.
what someone says ever. You
Do your due diligence.
own due diligence, because let's just yell out some ingredients, right? That if they're in a product, you probably shouldn't use it. I'm going to start with dimethicone.
Yeah. Parabens of any kind.
Yes. Okay. And
Fillers.
fillers, just fragrance. My old line, Ashley, if it feels good, smells good, and looks pretty, it's probably bad.
Yep.
because
Which we've gotten over that hump, but a lot of people love the experience. But for
I
me,
get it. I like it too. I would love to, I like going in those stores with all these displays and smelling and feeling. But at the end of the day, what I put on my face, I am making sure it is proper. And medical grade skincare is what we should be using. And I understand, okay, it's costly, it's expensive, but guess what? So are the regular cosmeceutical products are sometimes more expensive.
but you know what's even worse than that? The cost of what happens later and things that could happen like melanoma, things
Yeah.
that could happen bad like that. And that's why I'm like, take everything in like little doses, right? Don't look at the overall big picture of like the expense of this. Look at it as, and I tell people this all the time because some people are sticker shocked at a brand that I love, love, love that we use in our clinic, and I can say it. I don't mind. I love Skin Better Science.
I
I
just
love
want to
it.
say that.
But
I do,
people
but guess what?
often
I
freak
had
out.
Even Tone for 8 months, one bottle. 8 months it lasted me.
And I have to say, I love the active ingredient levels. I love the science base behind the products, but people get sticker shock.
Because
So
it's
then I
very
break it down.
expensive.
I break it down. One pump is, $1.22, but you only need a half a pump of the Maestro that I'm obsessed with right now. And then they're like, oh, then that's not bad because, and
If
I
you
will
use
say,
it
they are one
properly,
company that they say, yep, 3, 4 months, this. Oh no, it's the longevity of the product and how long it lasts is huge because, like you just said, 8 months
I
for even.
I really did have the even tone for 8 months. Now, mind you, there are nights that I just will take a break and I'll use Cyclofate. And like if I'm traveling a lot or my moisture barrier gets off, I will just take a break from all active ingredients and just give my skin some nutrition, like just
Yep.
kind of take a break. So I'm not maybe using it almost every night. I use it and more, but it literally, you only need that pump. You don't, people are like pump, putting all, it's a waste.
Yeah.
And never waste it. If there's a little extra, rub it down. Take
Down,
it
keep
in the neck,
going, blend
put
it
it on
through.
the hands.
Absolutely.
So
I mean, I think what we need to get across to everybody is don't trust all these apps and all of these people creating these apps. Do your own justice and educate yourself and Google some of these things. I mean, there's some influencers out there that do an amazing job of saying,
dating.
is this acne safe? Is this not acne safe? Is this anti-aging? Is this not anti-aging? Things of that nature. So I just think that, do your own, um, due diligence on what should be on your skin and what shouldn't be.
And if you are looking for, people talk a lot about makeup, right? And, cause there's a lot of makeup out there and people wear, like women wear makeup. Obviously they wear foundation, so some makeup is really bad for your skin also. And then if you're not washing properly, it's getting in your pores, it's clogging your pores. Well, there's a product right now that Ashlee and I absolutely love. I think this is the only product I have ever introduced you to.
And you did, because I used this product line 9 years ago and I did not like the texture of it, and they rebranded and I was like, oh, Catie, like what? I used to use
I
that
was
and I didn't
so
love it.
happy
I love it. I
when
love
I
it, love
met
it,
you.
love it.
I showed
Their
you.
rebranding is fantastic, the way they've reformulated.
Okay,
And
they're
we carry it in
amazing.
clinic.
But they have lipstick, blush powder, regular facial powder,
Compact, loose powder.
bronzing, whatever, like cream, and everything has SPF.
And we will have my personal rep that I love and adore, Catie, on here
Let
soon
me
to
just
talk
show a
about this.
picture. Wait, hold on. Can
Oh,
we see
yep,
it?
there. Color Science Flags. We used it a ton in Paris as well, and people were blown away. I was like
Blown away.
giving cards out because they just opened internationally. So thank you, Catie at Color Science and Holly. We really took and paved the way, I think, in Paris. People were like, what is this? What is this? And it was great. They made little special cards for us to give out, and I thought it was
And
awesome.
the flex, can you see it?
Oh,
Because I have my
I can
back.
see it. So I love to say the flex is witchcraft. It's
It's
because
literally
witchcraft.
amazing. It's just, I don't, I've never used a product like this. Like, and I'm not really a fan of putting on, say, a BB cream, or I don't like foundation. Okay. I really don't like how it feels on my skin. This you can put on. It's literally comes out white. Can you see it?
And the flex tones work to your skin tone. It's gorgeous.
It just goes to your skin tone.
I love it.
I mean, it is really amazing. And I feel like when I wear this, that I have a fresh face of no makeup, nothing on. Like
Yeah.
it doesn't feel, there's absolutely no smell. Like I smell absolutely nothing.
It feels like nothing on your face, but you know
And
you're protected.
it
Oh,
just feels
love
like
it.
you just put moisturizer, not a tinted. That I always feel like sometimes tinted things make me feel clogged and over, you know what I mean? But this, I mean, it's amazing.
Well, your skin looks great right now. I
I
have
just
nothing
love
on.
it.
Sorry, everybody that's watching. Katie just has that Color Science Flex and it looks amazing.
Yeah, wait, is my, I'm backwards.
You're fine.
You know, I think it's a great product, but I mean, even the lipstick or the lip
Oh, the
product,
gloss, all of it.
it's amazing, and it has SPF in it.
I am, and I know you don't have pigmentation issues like me, Katie, but I am doing a new product to me, not to the company, called Even Up, that I'm going to try here soon, and I'm going to tell you about it because they have some for redness too. Um,
Oh,
so in the next couple episodes, I don't know if it'll be the next one or the following, we are going to have another Katie that I adore on with us from Color Science, and she'll talk more about Color Science.
great.
Um, so let's talk quick
And
truth
you
and
know,
myth.
we'll do a lot more with skincare because you know what? I think at the end of the day, like skincare and product, it's a huge
80% of
thing.
skincare is at home. That's 80% of
It
your
is.
job. 20%
So,
in clinic with
like,
us.
focusing on that, like, we all know our lace is amazing, but what are we doing with the laser to
Exactly.
make things better? And like, that's what we can do. We can talk. I actually have one of the our lace trainers in Canada, is a skincare representative for a lot of Canadian skincare lines. So maybe we'll bring her on and we can
Yeah.
talk about the difference. Like every country has different products. We don't all have the same products. So, you know, we can talk about that.
Yeah.
But I do think we should focus on what people do at home a lot because it's a big part of what they
And
do
in this
in the clinic.
industry, it's overwhelming to know what brands because there's so many out there. So I think that's great that we're going to flourish with that this year. I think it's
Yeah,
awesome.
we'll spend more time on that. But today I think we're getting over time here. We could
I
just
know.
let them
Let's do a
go.
quick truth and myth. Quick
Okay.
ones.
All right. Truth, you do not need sunscreen in the winter.
Wrong. That's a myth.
That's a myth. That is a myth.
Myth, I think. Everything you need to know about skincare is on social media. They'll tell
Oh,
you
that
everything.
is 100% myth. Okay, wait. Oh, I didn't say this. Yesterday I saw someone saying baking soda is a great exfoliator.
Awesome. Good luck with that.
And
Why don't we
she's
use that?
rubbing
And you know
away.
what? I'm not going to say the brand, but anybody that's listening, my favorite product when I was a kid was apricot scrub.
Oh, yes.
Not
That's
saying the
like
brand, just saying what I was doing.
it's like going in your driveway and getting a large rock and hitting it with a hammer and making it into little pebbles and then bringing it in the house and scrubbing it on your skin.
100%. Yes, that was
If you
I
have
loved it.
scrubby little things in professional grade skincare, medical grade, they are crystals. They are made for
Or
exfoliation.
spherical round
Yes, they are
beads
not like crushed up rocks
or seashells.
or
Yes,
seashells or
yes.
baking soda.
Or baking soda. Um, it is true that you absolutely need to have a healthy skincare regimen at home to continue to see the results that you do in clinic.
Truth, 100% all the way.
True.
I mean, absolutely. How about this?
It is,
Go ahead. You go ahead.
sorry, I'm thinking, it is true that you are going to see Airolays explode this year.
That is the truth.
I'm so excited to be on the ride with it.
That's a fact. How about myth? Oh my gosh. See, Ashlee.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. We do
No,
this to each other all the time.
well, this happens to me. It just leaves my head. But I had a good one. But it's okay.
Seashells, rocks. What were you
Rocks.
thinking?
I don't know. It's okay. We'll get to
Sorry.
it. How
So
about
she's
we'll
going to
just go
text me
with this?
tonight at midnight, guys, and let me know. So we'll just share it with you later.
How about this myth? Exfoliation is not important.
Oh, this
So,
hurts my heart. When
yes.
people have so many dry, dead skin cells, you're like, my skin is really dry
My
and
skin is
nothing's
really
absorbing.
dry. No, your skin is not dry. Your skin is peeling because
It needs that
trying to
exfoliation.
shed itself so badly, and
Not
you're
with
not
baking
helping
soda or
it.
apricot scrub.
Yes, and like it's like I always use that the thing. If you took moisturizer, put it on a leather couch.
Hmm.
The leather couch will look shiny for a couple minutes. Then
Hmm.
it will get dull again. It never gets in the cushion. Well,
Hmm.
if your skin is totally dry and has extra layers of epidermal skin and you put moisturizer in it on it, the epidermal skin is going to suck it in and it's never going to get where it needs to get to do the job.
And you just wasted your product.
So get that dead skin off the right way.
Yeah, not with baking soda or apricot.
Okay, I know what I had. Okay.
Ready.
Myth. There is definitely a one and done treatment that you can get and you'll never have to take care of your skin again.
Gosh, that doctor must be not doing well with his bills because
I mean, if
nobody
that's
ever needs to see you again.
like that's one aspect of it. How do you keep a practice? But the true aspect is skin. We take care of. We don't miss a nail appointment. We do not miss a hair appointment. We do not miss an eyelash extension appointment. We don't miss anything for beauty, right? But does every woman and man out there have a personal skincare specialist that gets them, that takes care of their skin? No. It's becoming something. It is getting there, but it's not as regimented as these other beauty things we do for ourselves. And our face is the most important.
And I will say it like I always do. The damage didn't happen overnight. We're not going to fix it in one treatment overnight. It's not
Yeah,
going to happen.
and if someone tells you they can, they're not being truthful.
Also, and I know this isn't really a truth or myth, but we're going to talk about this next. We're going to talk about on the next one. Sorry, I'm excited. I'm sick of the rebranding of the same thing over and over on the market for this new glitz and glam of something amazing. It's just a different brand, people.
Yes.
There's
We'll talk
nothing new and
about that,
amazing. So we'll talk more
but
about that later.
yeah.
All right, Catie. Thank you everybody for listening to Catie and I. Hopefully you watched us because today I think we were pretty funny.
We are so
And we are going to be on very soon. We are making it our mission because it does fill our cup to do our podcast.
Yes, and we're going to have some guests coming up, which is nice.
And we're going to talk a lot this year about skincare, at least in the first of the year, in the first half.
I think it's so important because like we know that Our Lace Neo, Our Lace Era is Ashlee and I's favorite, right?
Topic, yes.
But how can we help you to combine things that you can do on your own, or how you can choose, if you have a practice, what you would use with the Our Lace?
Mm-hmm.
That's really, I think, helpful to people because I get that question all the time. Well, like, what should I combine it with? Or what should I use? Or what's a good skincare line? So let's, we'll what's the word? I'm going to delve into that a little more.
We'll dive into it more.
Yes.
And keep an eye because Catie and I have a lot of fun things with Airlays this year, and we're going to do a lot of shows and do a lot of presentations, and we're excited. So thank you everybody for listening. Bye, Catie. Have a great day.
Bye.